Hello everyone who's joining. We're gonna start in just a minute and then we'll look into one cool little Angular app I'm working on, and I'm going to show you how to build that, how to basically build a mini Udemy clone. But this is a tutorial in the works. So today, live streaming, I'm just gonna be coding. I'm gonna answer your questions as well. But the ultimate tutorial will come in the following days, hopefully very, very soon. So let's take a minute and then we can start the stream. Welcome. Welcome everyone. The mic. Hello and welcome again. So we're going to start working on the Angular application and we're going to look into what I'm building, but this is essentially, as I mentioned, for it is going to be for a tutorial that's coming in, but you'll still get to see me coding, and also you can definitely ask different questions as well. So I'm gonna go to chat, the restream chat as well, and I just have to clone my code in my computer, and then we can get started. All right, let's see. Let's quickly do that. By the way, in the meantime, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I'm going to try to push the code in the meantime. Okay, let's see. GitHub. Let's create a new repository. Let's pick myself as the owner. Mini Udemy craft. Let's quickly make this a private one. Cool. Git add, git status, and we can quickly do this. Work in progress. We are working on the course list page. Okay, so let's push that, and now I can include that from my URL. So let's quickly do that. All right, so let's go to GitHub. Let's quickly pick. I'm gonna also see if I am correctly shown here. Cool. So we're gonna pick the mini Udemy draft. This is at the moment private, but you will still be able to look at it as well. So let's quickly close this guy, close this. I'm also gonna wear my headphones as well. Cool. I'm gonna also stop all my Docker thingy so they're not really running. And now we can start. So let's go to terminal and let's go to I think it's desktop. Is it here? No. Work? No. YouTube? No. Personal? YouTube, and then here we can clone, and let's clone our repository right here. Let's put this right here, and now we can open that into our VS Code. So mini Udemy draft. So I'm going to show you what I have at the moment, and then we are going to take it from there. So I'm just trying to finalize the code that we have at the moment and then take it from there. So I'm going to also open the mouse highlight as well. And I'm also going to turn on the Pomodoro so we are not really missing stuff as well. Let's quickly open that. Also gonna go into here as well. And just so I'm okay, cool. So then we can open the Visual Studio Code and we can start running npm. It's time to migrate. Not at the moment. So let's do an npm install. So far what I've done is that I've created a few pages, including the home page, or sort of the landing page, and then we have a courses page and a course detail page, and I'm going to continue working on it so we have a final application before I can actually start working on any sort of tutorial as well. So let's quickly do that. And just to see, cool, I hear that as well. Awesome. So now that we have this, let's run npm start. And I'm going to actually sit down. So I'm gonna just give me 1 second so I can bring my desk down a bit. In 1 second. Awesome. So we're good now. So now that we have the app running, let me show you what I've built so far. So this is the app. I don't think I'm done with the app at all. So this is the home page, and I'm gonna actually show you the courses page. So this is the courses page at the moment. This is the most amazing course that you can see on the internet, of course. And then you have, if you go to a particular course, then you have a bunch of lectures. So what I have so far is just the course coming in from here, and I can create multiple courses, and all of them are being saved on in the database, and they come back from the database as well. So this looks okay so far. I'm not really sure how much time I'm gonna spend on the actual UI, or sort of improving the UI, so to say, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just before we go forward, I do want to check one thing. First of all, just ensuring that I can see a couple of things. If I go to my profile, cool, I can see myself being live there. Cool. Can also, awesome. So this is good. So now what I want to do is I want to basically be able to, and this is, so you see the gray color here. So this is also going to be a hero something, but we need to also fix this. So for example, explore our courses. Let's try to find it really quick. And then we also have this that should have a text center. And this one also should be text center. So they're both at the very center of the screen. Even if we, for example, zoom out, they should still be at the center in this case. Now that we have this, let's have a look at this guy. So here you can see I've put a really basic sort of shadow when you mouse over it, and that shows you that you can click this. When you click this, it goes here and shows you the lectures. This is not really at the moment, or this is not actually the data in the database. So what we want to do is first, I think I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm not going to implement authentication or any sort of logic for buying a course, but I'm going to keep it simple to the point where you are able to create your courses and also apply tags, but then also you are able to add some lectures to it and remove some lectures from it as well. So I think that's what we are going to do. So let's have a quick look. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to zoom in a bit so we can all see better. So on the courses page, we do have this modal, which basically allows us to add a new course. And I'm using, if you can see, I'm using the latest Angular blocks, or yeah, the control flow blocks for these as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the courses, and there were some things that I needed to fix. So this one should be image URL, and this one also should be fixed from here. So we are using image right here, and then we are also using image one more place as well. So this one is supposed to be, I think we could also say controls dot image if I'm correct. No, controls. Do I need to restart the TypeScript server? Maybe. Let's see. So TypeScript restart TS server. It seems like it's not giving me enough IntelliSense, so we'll see. Okay, so now if I try to remove this, now it gives me IntelliSense. So control, and VS Code is doing this too much times now. Controls dot, so it doesn't give me that. So I have to use the image. Okay, then let's do that. So now that we have the image URL here as well, this dot image dot handle, blah blah blah. Cool. So this works fine. Now what we want to do is to be able to let's add one more course. So let's go to create. We can say course title. This is, for example, Angular v17 course, and most amazing course available on earth, and then we get to choose the upload image. Now this one is something special, but I'm going to show it later on. So in this one, let's say we go and pick the Angular 17s. Where's its, let's go with this one. So I have the possibility of using a circle and this one as well, or crop it. So I could crop it like this as well, but I'm gonna actually leave it as it is. So let's reset. Can I reset? No. Okay, then I'm gonna use just this one. So let's save this guy. I'm gonna upload this. I can also choose not to upload this. And this one should be a bit better, I think, because this should, I think I should probably define the aspect ratio on both the course and the other as well. So for example, the image right here should have a correct aspect ratio. Let's say this has a ratio, was it aspect ratio video? So aspect ratio video for this one. But then also this should be the same for when we are creating the form component. So instead of having a width and height, then we can just use on this image as well, which should be, or actually this guy right here. So instead of width and height, we can also just give the height and then give the aspect video. So I think this should be nice. So if I open this now, you can see now it has an aspect ratio of video. This is what we want. So let's say Angular v17, the best course on earth, upload image, select this guy, upload, and now we have an image. If we don't want it, we can delete it, but I'm going to keep it at the moment. And now I can choose to create the course. If I create the course, then it takes a few moments, and I should probably be showing a loader in the meantime. But let's see. So this one, should have created a course or not. Let's see, create course form component. So we go here, and then we hit load the upload done, and then we do that. Cool, and then we submit, and then we do also course data, and then we do add doc. Okay, so we don't really close the form in that case, which we should. But if I close this and if I refresh this, do I get two? Yeah, we get two of those, but we also don't get any category as well, so that is also missing. So a couple of things missing in the UI UX, so we are going to add those now. Let's see. Okay, so in this particular situation, let's fix things one by one. So one thing that we want to do is we should be uploading the image, I think, or now that I think about it, because we are uploading the image first and then we are using the URL from it, it makes things a bit weird. That's not the best use case. So let's see, file stack.js. That first image looked very scary. Haha. Yes, that is the one that I actually used in one of the talks that I gave recently. Yes. Well, let's see, I do need to see how API documentation, blah blah blah, open picker, crop images, upload image. I think just this one should be good enough. Transform image. So the thing is, if I need to pick something, then I can pick it, but then I would have to say token, and then I would have to do client.upload, and then I can save files. Okay. Okay, so we could also upload on our own, but I'm thinking, because right now what happens is I have to first upload an image, then I use that image. If I don't use that image, then I would have to delete this image, otherwise it would end up in my file stack account, and that is what I don't want. If I say no, just open picker in inline mode. Okay, so open picker, it opens it right here. Close picker, open picker. Okay, so if I do this, then I would have to upload at the moment, but I don't want to upload it. The problem is, if I try to do it in a way when it doesn't really upload it, because right now I have to upload it first. I don't want to do that. Otherwise, I would have to take care of the removal as well. I'm thinking, because people could just go and keep uploading images, and that's not healthy, if that makes sense. So I should only be doing this once I'm actually submitting the course. And if I want to do it, then I would have to get rid of the picker. Then I would have to have my own picker right here, and then showing the image from there. And then, yeah, then it's not really showing the power of it. So, okay, let's see. So first of all, if I close this guy right here, I go back. So let's start with that. Let's say if I close it, then I would have to delete the file that I just uploaded. Otherwise, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Or is there a better way of doing this? Let's see. So once I have on upload done, this is where I want to do it. What if I say true? What if I say true? So if I create it, upload image, select it, and then I say this guy.
Now if I do upload, then this image would be uploaded, but it says done on the background. But now it's done, I actually can actually delete it. This is what I've implemented already, but I don't really want to do this, if you understand what I mean. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I could go ahead with simple transformation using the simple inputs and then use them, but then I'm not really showing the picker, and that is what makes me a bit sad. Let's see. Let's think about it. Hmm. If we change the UX, then that would make things easier for us. For example, if we took this guy right out from here, then we could change it in a way that you can only upload or delete. So let's change the UI UX overall, I think. How do we do that? Let's say I don't put these upload things in here at all, which means that now what I should be able to do is first I can create. Yeah, I'm thinking first we can create the form or the form card, and then we can just do the upload right from the courses page or the course card page in that case. That we could do. Let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add on the course card itself where we have the image. We can add, let's say, a particular, um, let's go with hero icons. We're going to add a pencil. So let's say a pencil. We copy SVG. And in here, we can add a pencil just on top of the image itself. So here we have the image. Let's wrap this guy into, let's say a div. This would make a class relative. We are also going to have a pencil that we just copied but never pasted. And let's have a look at the UI for this. So if I go back here, you can see the pencil right here. I'm going to put it right here. So this pencil can go inside a button. So just like this. And now we have a button. And then what we need to do is we're going to say this button is going to be class absolute top 0, right 0. And then we can say padding 2. So we can see it's something like this, as you can see. And then when we hover over it, we can change the BG to blue. I'm thinking actually, or should this always be dark? So slate, maybe BG slate 900 and text white. Maybe all the time keep it even without hovering it. And then we should be able to see this right here. So here you can see this button. I'm also going to make it rounded MD. And also I'm going to say the hover is BG slate, but a lighter one, 700, let's say. So in here, now you can see this guy, and I can do this. Now what I can do is I can say on click of this, we open the upload modal, okay? But then also I need to say click, 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 edit course. And in here, I can implement whatever we had in the create course form. So a couple of things. So we have, for example, set image URL, and then also we have upload file as well. So both of them. And then I also need the image file as well, and Firestore. A couple of things actually. So I'm going to copy this first, take this into components here, then add it right here. I'm also going to have to inject the file stack service. So file stack service equals inject file stack service. By the way, I was working I was looking at some .NET code, and I also saw the dependency injection there. I was like, oh, cool. There's something that exists there as well. Cool, cool, cool. Image. And this should be of type file. That should come from file stack thingy. Let's see, where does this come from? Yeah, from file stack. So let's quickly import that right here. This can be either file or null, and we start with a null in this case. Then we also, when we set the image URL, I think we should set the course image URL. So we can say the course that's coming in dot image URL equals file URL. Okay. When we have this, then we should be able to also update the course itself. So here we should say two things. Do this, and then also this dot update course image, and here we can then just supply the file as well. So here we either get a file or null. So let's say, I'm thinking if we have set a course image once, should we be able to also delete it? That's a question. I don't think I'm gonna allow that at the moment, but we'll see. So here we're getting a file of type file, and then we can say this dot image, or actually we have already said that one, but we are going to say here we're going to update the doc. So update doc, and here we need a collection which is supposed to get Firestore, which we don't have at the moment. So here we should be able to say Firestore inject Firestore, and here we say this dot Firestore, and the collection itself is courses, but I think we need to say courses slash, and then we would have to use the course ID. So let's see. So here we should have a course and now the tricky part comes in. We need the course dot ID, which doesn't exist at the moment. So now we need to do some magic because this doesn't exist. So let's comment this out at the moment. And what I'm gonna do is in here, I'm gonna say here we can say edit course image, and here we can also say edit course image. Now when I go here and I click any of these, you can see that the loader pops up, but also it goes to the next page. So I need to send the event in, which should say event and event, and then here we can say event dot stop immediate propagation, so it doesn't do what it was doing before. Save this. Now if I go back and if I click the click button, it should not go to the next page. It does not, so that's good. So here we can now update the file, and once we do so, we should be able to then just use that. So let's also, we are also going to see a couple of things more, but I'm going step by step. So now that we have this edit course image at least working, I can also pick all of those. Then I can say when the upload is done, I set the image URL to this, I update the course image, but this needs to have the course ID. So let's say that I just stop propagation, and then I can check if this dot course just return, but I do want to look into the course itself here. So what happens when we try to click upload file? So in here, this is the one, or no, so it should be course card component. Here I want to see what happens when I click this. So this dot course essentially It's just the category, description, image, and title. So when we are actually getting the courses from Firebase, which we do right here, I think we would have to do a snapshot in this case. Yeah, to get away with this. So here then we would have to say get docs, and we get the courses, which is right there, and then I can say doc changes dot, which should give us a when we use dot changes, what does it give us? Returns an array of the documents changed since the last snapshot. If this is the first snapshot, it would do this and this and this. But then shouldn't I be able to interesting. Oh, okay. So it's in but this is not what I want. So I would say then instead of collection reference, can we have on snapshot? So here we should be then using this dot, no, on snapshot. This one requires a reference. So this is gonna take courses. Is that right? And the next thing that it requires is, so it requires a reference and then a method. So here, then we should be able to say next. So we get the snapshot here. And in here we can do then further things. So here we have the snapshot. So here we can say snapshot dot docs, and then that's essentially doing the same thing as this one. So let's put everything right here. So snapshot dot docs, and this is going to be the same thing. What I do also want to do is, we do get the data, but I also want to have an ID here as a string as well. So when I do this, I want to use this. So let's say, so when we get each snapshot, we want to also take the ID as well. So return an object that has the data, but then also the ID set to snapshot dot ID. This is what we wanted. When we do this, then we actually get the courses in that case, and that is, I think, really, really nice. What am I missing right now? So it says it's not assignable to course array. ID string is missing the following properties from type. But this data is also everything but course. Is it written like this or the other way around? I think it's the other way around. No. This is the other way around. So I have everything apart from the ID in the course in a snapshot.data, and the rest of it can be just the ID. So when we do this, we can go ahead with seeing now. I think we should now be able to see still. What have I missed? So we have on snapshot. Did I also have to subscribe it? No. Let's see. Error. What went wrong? Console.log err. What happened? Talk to me. Talk to me. What happened? It did not get my courses. So collection takes Firestore and the path. Then it's using on snapshot, which returns the unsubscribe. So it automatically should be doing this. Let me debug this and see if this actually gets into the courses.component.ts. And if I go here, let's see. It does come here. So snapshot.docs. So it got two of the docs. And then once you have them done, it returns everything and then does that. And now if I look at the courses, I do have them. So I also have the ID and I also have the other things as well. But then why don't they render on the UI? That's cool and interesting. I do have the course. If I'm not loading courses, okay, because I never turned back the loading thingy. That's why. Interesting. So then I should be here once it's. I mean, it's not really completed, but I think we could still say this dot is loading courses equals to false. That's why we are not seeing that. So it should go forward, and now we should be able to see them. Have I written something wrong? So we have this loading courses, true. This comes in here. What am I missing? I don't get any errors as well. So when it comes here, and I'm also going to look into from the Angular's perspective as well. Oh, I don't have the extension. Let's see. Angular Dev Tools. Angular Dev Tools. I do have the extension. And why is it not? Is it disabled? Angular. No, it is enabled though. So then where's my Angular tag? Interesting. Nope, I don't see it still. That's super weird. So remove from comb. Not really. Angular Dev Tools. Pin it. Where are you though? Nope. Don't see it still. Oh, now I see it. But I still don't see it here. Unless I'm completely blind. Nope. Settings. This guy, security, lighthouse performance, Redux. No, I don't see it. Anyways, then I'll leave it. But then what is happening right here? So if I go here, I should create container and the container is empty completely. And then if I move forward from here to here, the courses is true. We change that to false. Then we hit play. But even then, I don't really see any of the content on the UI. The container is still empty. Let's see. On. No. Nope. I'm double checking if I've missed anything. So we have a query that we have set. We have the observer that has a next. That seems to be fine. We have also complete as well. I'm not using on push here. That makes perfect sense. But if I put, let's say, a loading here, and if I say is loading courses, if I need to debug it like this, so this is still true after all of that what has happened. This never happened, which is a bit weird. Have I used something that should trigger this? So this one is an object that has a next. This is an arrow function, so this should go actually to the outside, which makes perfect sense. Then it comes here. Okay, because if I remove this, then it should be. It doesn't render anything on the UI at all. Why? It doesn't. Okay. Hmm. If this is false, then it shows up and no courses. Let's see. So we get the docs, then we also get the return value. Once we have assigned them, let's also log them. And in this case, we should have them logged as well. So I do get the values out, but I don't see. So here it says no courses available, even though we have some values right in there. I'm not really sure why. Is it because of that? No. Still says no courses available after the map. Hmm. Hmm. What if we okay, so let's try to do one thing then. I'm going to use a signal for this. So let's say we start with a writable signal. No, writable signal. Or let's just assign directly a signal that should come with interesting create signal. When did this come in? Interesting. So here we have the create signal, and then we can say it's an empty signal. And when we say this, we can also assign the course value as well. And it's coming from core primitive signals. Okay, interesting. And this one should be then a signal getter. Okay, interesting. And if I try to then do courses dot, then I can only say dot, and then I can get the name, the length, and no. Interesting. What I want is I want a signal. This is what I want. I don't know why that was showing me that thing, because I want a writable signal. Yep. So here then I can do this dot courses dot set, and then I can do this. And this means that now in my UI, I can just do this and then see everything happening. So here it still says no courses available. If I look at the loading courses, I think we can get rid of that. So in here, once I have the courses coming in, I should be able to render those as well. And in here, we can also do a this dot courses component. It says no courses available. Why does it say that? That's a bit weird. So when I do courses, I should be able to get the courses array. If I look at courses, if this is some weird magic with the Angular dev server, I'm gonna start crying. Let's see. I'm gonna restart the server, which sounds super weird. So I get two of those, but I never see them on the UI. Why is that? What the heck? So remove that. Oops, not that one. Go back, add to Chrome, add extension. No, I still don't see it. And I was seeing it fine with the, okay, so let's have a look at the documentation for on snapshot. So fire, Angular, fire, I think there's something wrong with the Angular Fire's latest one. So let's go to code. I do need to see Firestore, inject Firestore, collection data, and you get them as observables. Okay. Let's also have a look at Firestore further. Cloud Firestore. So Cloud Firestore right here is you can import that. Then you can do users. Then you can get the collection and collection data. Okay. So let's try that then. To close this, I'm going to not use on snapshot, but rather, let's say collection data. So in here, then we can now we have to remove like almost all of it, and we also tried to use signals as well. So then it's going to be courses, and then it's going to be observable of, or actually we could just use to signal as well, but let's see. So here we're doing a bunch of stuff, but I'm going to have to remove that. Well, let's say we do collection data, and then we have this right there that we can put, and then we also have to signal. I think this is right in here, to signal. No, let's see, Angular to signal. So this comes with RxJS interop. So Angular core, and here it is Rx, and here we can say to signal. So then I can simply say to signal, and I can provide the observable from here. All right. And when you get it, what does it return? It returns back a signal to you. Cool. Then can I simply say courses? So this dot courses equals this. Let's see, what is the usage in here? So you can say to signal, and then you can say options, and then you can say initial value. Okay. Okay. But then this won't be this, because now this is gonna say you cannot really change it to the writable signal because set update and as read only is not there. So then it has to be a signal. This has to be a signal instead of courses. So I need to import this guy from Angular core, and this should be course, and this should be this. And then once I'm sending it back, then it says signal is not as unable to type signal course. Oh yeah, because then we need to also say we have the data in there. So you can say const courses ops equals this guy as, and then you had the collection data coming in with, no, that's not the one, that's the one. So here you have the collection data that's coming in as observable, and this should be like this, and then we should say course. Okay, so my camera just died. I'm gonna quickly charge it as well. Let's see. Okay, so when we get course obs, then we can convert it into the signal. It should return back a signal of course off or undefined. But why would it be undefined? That's a bit weird. Why would it be undefined? Is it because the initial value is undefined? That makes no sense. So if I say to signal, then I have the options, and then we have the initial value. No? Is it the initial value? Yeah. But this is super weird. Oh, we'll see. Okay, so in that case, if I get rid of all of this, the magic, then I see the data then? ToSignal can only be used within an injection context such as a constructor, the factory function, a field initializer, or function used with run injection context. Ooh, interesting. So then am I not supposed to? Okay, then I'll not use it if that's the case. So let's do the old school way. So observable is the way to go. Then we can just say this whole thing comes into place like this. We get rid of this guy. And we have this right here. And then in the HTML, we can get rid of this and say, I'm gonna get this as async and put this right here. Is it because we are missing the common module? Or async or common module? But then we could also just import the pipe itself. It's called the async pipe, which is in Angular common. So let's actually try to see if we can just use the async pipe and remove the common module from it. And this should be happy, I think. What am I missing? This can go away. This can come in here. And now finally we have them. Cool. So then we can also put here okay, so we also had the information about loading as well. I'm thinking if we should have it or not. Okay, so let's do it this way. I think we can add an if here, or actually an if outside. So let's say an @if, and then this right here, and then we can also say if this actually exists, good, else, and we can also say just loading. So here we can say div loading, and then we have it right here as well. So we know we can assign it right away, and then when the data comes, then that's a different story, but we can show the loading just like that. So that's good. Okay, so now that we have this, we also talked about the edit as well. So this should open the picker, and then we should be able to update the image as well. So how do we do that? And I also want to make or keep things simple as well. And there was also one issue with the ID as well. So here, when we use collection data, I don't think we are using a pipe in there, so we do need to use a pipe, and we also need to use a map, so we can map the snapshot as well. So the collection data itself, I'm assuming that this gives us the courses, but if I return courses dot, and then we have I don't think each course has its value in here. Let's say for the sake of just having the information, we put it there. So we say courses.components, and in here we can just put a breakpoint. So I do want to see, does each course have its own ID in there or not? So this one does not have the ID. And that is the problem because I want the ID in here as well. Or when I'm creating, then I would have to add the ID there as well. So it's either this or then I do the other way around. I think it's better to just then add with the ID. So let's go to Firebase console. And I think when we use the add, we can actually do that right there. So let's say add doc, then we get the document reference, and then we have the reference as well. But I think there's also a way of generating the Firestore ID. So Firestore add document with ID, custom ID to Firestore, and that is the one. So in here, but this is also one way of doing it as well. But I would want to just get the ID generated by default. I think this is the one. Yeah. So if I try to do something like when I have to add a new one, if I have to say something like create course form component, and then when I'm creating it, when I'm submitting it, if I could come here and say this dot firestore dot app dot no, I think here we're using create ID. Do we have something in the Firestore that we can use to say create ID? Let's see. Create. No. DB. No. Get app. No. Where does this DB come from? Assuming the same create ID exists outside of your okay, so it's not really doing it from there. So it has Angular Firestore that does it. Hey live, how's it going? So get Firestore, blah blah blah, server timestamp. I mean, I can get the ID afterwards, but then I would have to do set doc. I don't want to do that. I want to do it in one single pass. So if I say collection, if I say call dot firstore dot no, it says app. I don't want that. Can it also take, I mean, it should have multiple overloads as well, or no? So it takes the data, it returns your document reference, but then I also would have to set the document as well. So each creation of a document in this case is then also a set document call as well, which does not make sense to me. But yeah, that's if you try to do await db.collection.series add, and then you can add it, it automatically does an auto generated ID. But I also but that's the same thing. I want to say with a custom ID. Or I would have to create my own IDs then. Can I search and create ID? Or create Firestore document ID. I think here I can find it probably. Let's see. Life says, I'm from Sri Lanka and I'm learning Python. Awesome. What kind of projects are you working on at the moment? Are you building anything? Set doc, custom objects, blah, blah, blah. Add a document. So this one. Hmm. 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 I'm thinking. So what is the support for? Can I use? I want to say crypto. Mm, mm-hmm. Okay, but then I would have to do this. So then I would have to generate a UUID. If this is what we have, then I would have to say something like, I don't know, cons ID. And then I would have to say something like self.crypto dot random UUID. And then I would have to add or set doc. And I would have to go in and say collection slash ID, because set doc should no. Does this take a reference? Or yeah, it takes a reference, and collection takes a Firestore. And add doc, what did that take? It also got a reference. So then I would have to say collection, but also rather a doc. And then I would say doc. What does this cry? Ah, okay. Then you need to say collection, and then you also need to say ID. And this guy goes away, and then I need to set the course form value, but I also need to set the ID and then the course form value. Now if I do this, then I have IDs in all of my documents. So let's try that. I'm gonna actually go to mini Udemy. Life says, yeah bro, still beginner, I'm 17 years old. Awesome, good to see you here. I don't really remember what I was doing when I was 17, to be honest. Maybe coding, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so let's try this now. So now I'm going to try to create one more title. So let's say Angular 17 test description, and I want to upload an image as well. So I'm going to do this, select this one. And I'm also going to go to course or create course form, and I want to also look into submission. So once I do upload, I should have the image coming in. This is set. I can now say create course. And now if I try to go in, I can go and say form is valid, do this, generate an ID, which you can see right here. And then I'm setting the form value along with the collection and the thing with this. And then I can return courses, blah, blah, blah. Cool, cool, cool. And now you can see automatically that I got back this right here, Angular 17 test description, and I automatically have this. Super cool. And I should also have this right here as well. There we go. So we got the ID and the ID right here. I think this is the right way to do it. Okay, so quickly got this done. Let's quickly see the image thingy, because I don't want to do it when I'm creating it. So I need to also have, I don't know. When I'm creating it, I'm thinking now, should I allow it to create? And I mean, that's a flaw in that regard. So I'm just thinking, so if we don't have this right there at all in the create course form, the image upload, if you don't have it at all, then it's really easy to just create a particular title. So I'm gonna play, and now I can just add one more. So test title 2, and I can just add that. What is my IDE? I'm using Visual Studio Code, so VS Code it is. And then also I can kind of get rid of the image URL as well. So this should give me the value. I can also add one thing that is called category. So I'm also gonna add a category as well. Maybe we can just add a few or just a select box, so to say. So let's add a for category. ID is gonna be category. The form control name is also gonna be category. And this is going to be actually a select box that we are going to use, and we'll also put some options right here as well, or option. We can have Angular, let's say React. Do we also want to add Python live? And we also can have TypeScript. And then here we can also add the values here. So we have, for example, Angular, React, TypeScript. Live says, bro, actually I can't understand what you're doing, but I love it, want to learn it. I'm just working on a tutorial. So this is an app that I'm building, but I will be creating a tutorial for this as well. So you can also look into that as well once it comes out. But here we have like Angular, React, TypeScript. We can select those, and then we can also put them into, because we should have an error at the moment. So cannot find control name with category. We need to add it right here. So we can say category is gonna be this, and we also need this to be required. So validators dot required. If we don't have that set, then this should not be enabled. So let's say we have React be good, and now until I select something, this is disabled. So if I select, let's say React, boom, this is enabled now. So now if I create it, we should be able to see React right here as well. But you can see here we have a problem. So what we should have in each course form is, or course card is, if we don't have an image, we should be using something else. So if we have the course.image URL, then we render the image, else we render a box essentially. So this one should just be a div. So I'm gonna use a div instead of that. Also gonna end it, going to remove the alt and the source from here, and also would add a bg slate 50. So in here now we'll see this guy right here. Okay, so here, and we can also say, I don't know, no image, or just keep it like this. Or we could have a placeholder image as well. So let's say placeholder abstract image. Mm, I don't know. Do we see anything that we want to pick from here? I don't know. Maybe this. Can we go vect? No, pixels abstract. Maybe we can use this. I love this. This is also a really good site, pixels. It's really nice. I will, however, shorten it down because I think it's gonna be huge. So there is an app called Scoosh that you can use to basically shorten an image. So this one, I'm gonna reduce the quality of it. So if you see, I can reduce the quality of it to 57%, and to me it doesn't really look that different as well. I'm also going to resize it, so it is it's 6,000 pixel at the moment. I just want to make it, I don't know, 500, and that's pretty much it. And now I also need to increase the quality to make it at least look good. Yeah, so this is nice. We've reduced it about 100%. So this one was 1.78 megabytes. This one is 247 megabytes, which is nice. So I can add that to our assets. Let's go here, revealing the file explorer. And here we have, so place course placeholder. Can you do ethical hacking? No, I cannot. I've never looked into it. So this one can then, or can I just say, I mean, then I can just use this, if you understand what I mean. So instead of the if else, then I can just use image.url or assets. And then I think it was course placeholder. So course placeholder.jpg. Let's see. Let's go back to our application. There we go. So here we see the default placeholder if there's no other assigned, and then you can have that as well. You can also see this one says React, this one doesn't say anything because we just changed the data. So in here, the second one has the category React. This one doesn't have the category. So let's also add it right here. Category Angular. Add that. Yay! Look at that. So now we have Angular and React, both the courses available. I think we can just, I don't know. I think we can just get rid of, okay, let's move code around because I need to make things easier as well. So let's say once you, we'll keep this a limitation when you create your course. After that, you can upload a particular image to it, because if we don't do that at the moment, we would have to handle a lot of things. So I don't want that. So let's do this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the course form code. So we already have this here, and then this is where we are. Oops, oopsie doopsie. So then if I click this, you can see this nice little pop-up opening to say, hey, I am the image you want. But what I also want to do is put it back and then also do a console.log of this.course whenever I do this. So if I click this guy, I can see the ID. I can also see the ID right here as well. So I can basically get the image as well. So what I want to do now is, first of all, if I try to change the image or image URL, then I want to, I'm thinking. So if I have an image already, right? Then I first need to delete it and then do it. So let's say if I have the upload done, then I want to set the image URL, update the course image, and then also I want to delete previous image as well. And I'm going to use this .course in here. So then what I want to do is, first of all, let's create this function, and we have course, and then this. So this one, what does this do? So this one should say update document, and then I should get the collection. Sorry, I need to say doc, and this should get the collection that says courses, I think, right? So this requires Firestore and then path, right? So then what? Oh yeah, of course. So this one should say this dot course, but then also, yeah, I think this dot course is good. So we just need to make sure that the image URL that we have, oh sorry, I'm going to use this actually, file URL, and then everything there, and then the image URL to be file URL. So this is what I want to update once the image has been updated. But then also I want to delete the previous image. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say file stack service dot delete file. But then I also want to have the handle of it as well, and that is a bit tricky. But then I can take out the handle from the file itself. I think each file URL contains the no, not this one, this one. So this one contains the handle, I think. So if I go ahead and if I say const handle equals this dot course, no, I can say course dot image URL dot split, and then this, and then we can get the latest one, the last one, and that is essentially the handle. So I'm going to pass the handle inside there, string undefined. If we don't have a handle, then we just return, which will never happen. So I could have said, yeah, handle will always exist, or I would say just delete the file. So in this case, if I have already a file, I will just update it and then make sure that everything works. If I already have a file assigned to it, then I'll just delete it and add the new one. And then also I think this delete file also returns a promise. So we can say const resp equals, and this is supposed to be a sync. Update doc, does that also do? Yeah, it does it. So let's say we say await resp, and then we can just say console dot or it's clg, yeah, resp. Cool. So now what I want to do is I want to put some breakpoints as well, and I want to go to each course card component. I want to quickly put a breakpoint right here and one right here. So let's say I'm trying to change an image from this to this, let's say. And then if I upload this, now since this is done, you see a couple of things happening. First, this will set the image URL, which should update this guy right here. Then it's also going to update the course image. So it should go inside. This is the file that we have. It's trying to update the thing with the course ID, with the course data, but then the new URL as well. That's super cool. And the new URL that we have has something like OYUA, but the old one, oh no, I've already updated that. That's not good. That's not good, because now I lost the previous one. So I should have first deleted the previous one and then used the next one. Yep, this is what I should have done, but now we'll lose that one as well. We'll see. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to say this guy, come in, I want to use some other image, let's say this one. Then we upload that guy. South Fazal, mashallah, clean code. Acha, thank you. So in here, we are trying to use the old image at the moment. The image URL at the moment has wa at the end. So it goes inside, goes forward, takes out the handle, which is wa, and then it takes the handle, tries to delete the file, gives us a response back, which is success, super cool. And then we log that success. Then we go out of the function, whoops. And then we try to upload the new one as well. So in this case, we have already uploaded the new one. So if I refresh, I should still be able to see the new image attached to this. Yay, awesome. Let's try this one more time. So I'm gonna actually delete this one. And let me see if I can go to also file stack. So we all see that as well. Log in, sign in with Google. And I basically want to delete all my files as well. Website uses cookies. Decline all. Refresh. Refresh. I don't know. Have I used a password for file stack? I'm not really sure. Okay, now this works. This Google account is not linked. Ah, okay. Now I see the error. I'm gonna see the password. Give me one quick second. Because I think I have this on my workplace. But how are you doing, Saad? How's it going? Oh yeah, I have the password here. Is it tough? Yeah, it is. I'm gonna send it to my Slack and then delete it. Okay. So time to go blurry. Give me 1 second. And what email did I use it? Okay, that one. Okay. So then let's go to Slack. Give me 1 quick second. I need to copy and delete a password. Copy. Delete. Delete. And then you can do this and this. Okay, so it sent an email to me. Let's see if I can see my email. Where's my phone? Oh, okay. Here's my phone. Let's see. Give me 1 second. So file stack is here. We have the password here, and that is okay, let's see. Log me in. Thank you. And then I also want to just go to my content browser. Why does it keep showing like all my API keys? That's weird. Okay, so I have a bunch of images right here. I'm going to delete all of them. Okay, so we are going to start from scratch then. So I'm gonna actually delete this. And hopefully I'm gonna blur so I don't leak my API key. I mean, I can always revoke that. Why does it show it like all the time? That's super weird. I don't know. Why are you showing me the whole API key all the time? It's probably because they're thinking I won't be live sharing this, of course. But I am. Okay, so I don't have any images at the moment. So what I'm gonna do is let's quickly try to see the images. So if I refresh now, you will see that we are getting some images. But now if I refresh it further, I'm not really sure if it's coming from the maybe it's still cached in the CDN, and that's why, yeah, now you can see it doesn't exist. So now what I want to do is you can see I don't get it. I see the 404 in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this and see if I can get this right. So let's add this guy right here. Let's hit upload. So it does a bunch of things. It will try to delete the existing file, which it should not be able to do because there is no existing file. And let's see. So this one would try to see the handle, and then it would go here, and then here it should basically say no, something went wrong. So here you can see, yeah, 404 not found. So it couldn't find that file because there was no file. And now I tried to add a new file and then update the codes, and then also there you go, I got the file right here. Now let me show you one thing. If I go to my file stack and refresh, I'm going to zoom in a bit. So here you can see now we have one image that is in here as well. What I want to do now though is I want to be able to change that image. So I would still have one image in my whole file stack thingy. So let's use this one, hit upload. And now it should be able to delete the previous image. So I'm gonna clear the network, hit play. So it goes here, here. So all the network calls are like 200, which means we are good. Now, if I try to go to my file stack here, I should basically see two, or actually one only. So if I refresh, I'm going to refresh while being there. And now if I try to open this, can I open this? No, I can just click this. And if I go here, no. But this is essentially this. So it's like 6QR2. And if I inspect this guy right here, it's also like 6QR2, as you can see right here. So it's the same one. So we delete the previous one, add the new one. I think I like this one. If there is nothing assigned to it, it would just delete it. I think when we try to delete it as well, I mean, once we have assigned an image, the only way to actually get rid of it is just to upload a different one. But I think I like it. Saad is asking, what about you? How are you doing these days? I was a bit more, what do you say, busy, but I think I'm doing much better now. I have my book almost done, so I'm super happy about that. To be honest, it's good overall. I feel nice. Alrighty, so now that we have the courses and we also have the courses which we can add, we should be also able to delete a particular course as well, but then also would mean we would have to delete the file as well. I don't think I'm going to go to that part. I'm just going to say how to add stuff. The deletion should be similar. I think we can just add a new function and delete that. I think I'm more interested in actually going to this particular page where we can specify the lectures and the lectures themselves. But then also I'm thinking about if I have to assign videos to that as well. And I'm thinking, and if I have videos to them, then so we have the ability to add lectures, remove lectures, and view lectures. I think that is what I would probably say. Not more than that. And I think that should be more than enough, because I don't want to also create like a huge tutorial as well. So let's say we just talk about adding a lecture and removing the lecture as well. So here, let's go with actually using the courses detail. So this one, the course detail, when we go there, I think we should be going there by the course ID. This one right now just says 1, 2, 3. So let's fix that. So I'm going to go to course here, and then the router link here should be rather course.id. Oops, oopsie doopsie. So here, now if I go here and click this, now you can see my ID, actual ID. Saad says, I haven't seen you using ChatGPT or any AI like Copilot, etc. I don't use it. I use ChatGPT sometimes, but I use mostly to either create, let's say, an outline of something or of some course or a video, or getting some ideas about my thumbnail. So things that I don't think I'm really good at. For example, Is this good? No. Then I showed ChatGPT another image, or just describing, how this looks. And then eventually we ended up having something like this. Let me show you the variations of the last thumbnail that I did. So these are all the variations that I came up with ChatGPT. Can I can I hit enter? Okay. So this one was the first one. Then I went to this one. Open source contributions change everything, my story. No, this was the last one actually. So I added dash. So this is how it started. Then I was like, no, this doesn't look good. Then then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. So there were a lot of changes, but that resulted in a good final result. So this is where we started. This is where we ended. I'm not really sure if this one would have been nice, because this one is still pretty interesting and catchy, but it focuses more on GitHub than open source itself. This one focuses on open source. This is a nice hook, and then also the image. So these were the things that I usually use with ChatGPT, but I don't use a lot of ChatGPT or any AI. I try to code it myself or Google. If I don't understand something at all, then I might go there. But yeah. Okay, so we got the course ID. Now I think we can get the course itself from in here. So when we actually start something, let's say we also say Firestore equals inject Firestore, and then we should also be implementing implements on init, and then here we can say on init or ng on init. Now that we have this right here, we can say that we need to have some lectures and then to render those. So in here, first let's get the course. So here I can say course, and I'm going to use the observable here as well, or I can actually get the actual doc in this case. So course is going to be either a course or it's going to be null, and I'm going to assign it initially with null. We also have course here as well, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll fix it. So in here, then we can say on ng on init, we can say get doc. This requires the reference, so I'm gonna say doc, and then here I need to say this dot firestore, and then I can say this should be collection slash, no, not the collection, but courses slash, and then I can add the ID. I'm also able to write this code Saad because I've done it a few times. Then I can say, and now I have to get the routes ID. So let's do active route equals inject. I think it's called activated route. Let's call this route instead. And then here I can say const ID equals this dot route dot snapshot dot param map dot get, and here I can just get ID, and then I should be able to get the ID right here. I'm gonna double check what is in the routes. Is it ID? Yeah, it's ID. So then I should be able to get the ID, should be able to get the doc from it. This returns a promise, and then we should be able to, yeah, then we should be able to do it correctly. So let's say we say get course, and then get course, and then ID is what we want. So get course requires a course ID of type string. Then this should be an async method, and then we can say const course data equals get doc, and we should definitely await this. We can parse the course ID just like this, and now I should be able to say, because this is going to return a get doc, I need to say this is the data that we've got, or this is the snapshot, or here we can say course snapshot, and here we can say this dot course, this dot course equals course snapshot dot data, as, and I also want to yeah, then we can say course. Once we have that, then we string null. No, I think this should be always there. Then we should have the course there, and then we should be able to have the course says ID and description. So here we should have the course, or we can put all of this into an if block. If we have the course, then we render all of this magic. I will at the moment comment this out, and this is not name but title. Oops. So now if I go to my app, go here, look at that, Angular 17 test description. Woo, React, be good, awesome. So now we are actually able to get that. So having said that, if I go here, this does not reset my scroll to top. So I do want to do that. Angular router scroll to top. That was, I think, it should be scrolling options. This one. Scroll position restoration. I think that's the one. And this should go in the config. So I should have it in here where we are saying routes. Here we can say scroll. No. Is it right here? So provider. Then we have features. Router features. I'm not really sure. Where do you use this? With memory, with in-memory scrolling. Aha, okay. Yeah, this one. With in-memory scrolling, and then we can see options. And does it, okay, with in-memory scrolling, and then here we have scroll positioning restoration. This should be top. Okay, now let's see. So if I am here right now, I go here and click this. Yay, let's go. Now this goes to top. Hey, awesome. Cool. So now I can go back and try to also show the image as well. So let's go to the top of the course, and we are also going to show an image. So here we'll show an image. The source is going to be image, no, course.image URL, or we'll have assets course placeholder.jpg. So if I go here, ooh, look at that. And if I go here, oh, look at that. But I want it to be nice, so I will basically say class width full, and then aspect video. Yay, look at that. I like it. And then we also have this right here. So let's go with this one. And then we have that as well. I'm not really sure if we should have like, I don't know. Maybe not this. Maybe we can say height is, I don't know, 50, which is, no, 42, no, 32, which is 128 pixel. And then also using like, I don't know, BG cover. So if we use that, then this is how it looks. And this should be like object cover. So it looks something like this. But this is maybe not great. So I don't know. I don't know. If I use H40, then it is 160. Then we have 48, 192. I don't know. This looks not too bad to me. I think it's still nice. So I'm gonna go with this. Let's keep it like this. And then also when we go to the courses, we can also pick this one. But this one looks like this. Because everywhere we basically use the aspect ratio correctly, and that is what bothers me. Because now if I use aspect video, then that means it's like aspect video. But then I also don't want width full in that case. So then I should be able to say width full, but then max width is supposed to be, I don't know, MD. So it looks like this, right? Or LG. And then you can also have a MX auto. So you are centering this as well. Yeah, I think this is probably nice. Now let's talk about the lectures. I want to do that quickly as well. So here I have the upload thingy, but I don't want to upload it. I want a form which can also do the same thing as the other one. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it today. I need more time. So I'll see when I can do that, but not today. I think not today. How much time has it been since we have been live? About 2 hours. Okay, that makes perfect sense. So let's see. Okay. Saad says, "Sir, I've been trying to learn Tailwind, but I'm struggling to remember the class names, and plus any good resources you can recommend for learning Tailwind." I think the best way that you can learn a Tailwind essentially is by practicing. So you don't need to have a lot of resources to remember. Me just remembering all of this is essentially my the fact that I've done it so many times. So I've used Tailwind so many times that I'm fluent now, if that makes sense at all. So yeah, that's the key. I would say just keep practicing. Just put that to use. The knowledge is not really useful if you're not really using it at all. So try to create a project. Try to build something that uses Tailwind, whether it's a small, I don't know, a calculator app or a converter, I don't know, a currency converter or units converter, whatever that is. Try to use Tailwind in that. When you do it enough times, you're gonna start looking into just remembering all of that, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's gonna be my tip. Da, 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 da. Let me know if that makes sense. Da, 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 da. Okay. Now I'm not really sure. Looking at if my video was posted at all. Maybe it was. I don't know. How much React.js should I learn before moving to Next.js? I would say at least build two applications which are small to medium scale before jumping there, because it becomes a bit difficult if you don't know React at all. So at least know about some hooks, creating basic components, just all that stuff. I think that makes things really really easy. Okay. All right. I'm also gonna just add now the create lecture form. So let's say create nggc components create lecture form. I think it's going to be very similar to the create course form, almost similar, I would say, with the exception of not having the image. So I'm going to clear the image thingy from now. So removing this from here, removing image URL from here. I don't think we need upload here. Set image URL, we don't need that here. Delete file, don't need it here. And then on submit, I think that's pretty much it. Gonna remove this as well. And now I can just copy paste this to the other one as well. So this one is just going to be all of this. So let's call this guy, instead of course form, this is going to be lecture form. Image, we don't need that. Image, we also don't need here as well. Form builder, Firestore, file stack service. Do we use file stack service? No. Do we use Firestore? Yes. Do we use form builder? Yes. Course form? Yes, we do. File service goes away, file goes away, and that will be the same here as well. So lecture form, Firestore, file stack service goes away. This is going to be lecture form with a title. I think a duration is also going to be there. Category, I don't think so. So just those two things, title and duration. I think that should be enough. On submission, you should have, I mean, for each lecture, you would have to have the course ID. Otherwise, you cannot put a lecture to a course. So this means it should have an input of course, which is going to be course. And this is going to be always here. If the lecture form is valid, then you go forward. I want to set the document and I want to have the collection, or I think it should rather be docref. So here it should be, instead of collection, it should be a document ref. And here it should be Firestore, lecture doc ref. And this should be a path like this, courses slash this dot course ID slash, and then the ID that I'm going to generate. So let's do it right here. And then the ID right here. And let's call this course ID for the sake of readability. So this is gonna be course ID. Oh, this is gonna be lecture ID. Okay, then we got the docref, so we can say set doc, and we can say right here lecture docref, lecture ID, and then the lecture form value. Ooh, let's go. Then I can quickly move these folks up here. I also need to have input here as well. And that's it. We can remove the next one. No, we cannot. I need to import these as well. And this as well. And what? Firestore. And then the next is path, right? So I did give you path. What happened? Oh, because of this. Firestore. Types. Now we have it. Coolio. This looks good. So now we have, oh, we need to import reactive formos module as well. Now that we have this, let's have a quick copy paste of the other one. So copy pasta right here, right here. It's going to be lecture form. It's going to be lecture title, lecture duration. I think I'm going to have the same thing as this one. I'm going to remove this guy. So no select. Lecture form dot valid. This should look exactly the same. So create lecture. In here, I can say lecture title, lecture duration, and this should be duration for title. Oh, duration. Cool, create lecture. And now I just need to use this. So just like we are doing in courses, we do have an app model right here. We can use that in the detail component as well, just like this. So this one requires me to now use the app model in the imports. So model component comes here. We also should have create lecture form component. And then in here, we should have create a lecture form. And then this should be just the variable that I need. So if I go here, I'm just going to do this and then we can wrap this up. So this one has to have just this guy right here. So then we go here and then this should be is create lecture modal open. And then I go here, there we go. Whoopsie. And then just like we have a nice little button right here, I'm going to add the same thing in the course detail page, but instead of the upload function, instead of this one, create lecture. And the moment of truth, this is the create thingy. If I click here, hey, lecture title, lecture duration, test, lecture. Wow, no, 5 minutes. If I hit create lecture, we have an error. Cannot read properties of undefined. Creating ID. Ooh, fancy. Oh, because we are not really passing the course in there. So, of course, this has to have a course, of course, where we pass the course. And the course has to be here. But why do we have course? Yeah, okay. So the course has to be there. Cool. Then if I refresh, then if I hit create, first lecture, and my camera is dead, I know, 15 minutes, network request, clean. Invalid document reference. Document reference must have an even number of segments, but course is this has 3. Ooh. But then I have to say courses, course I, no. Okay, but then I have to do this. Then I have to do courses slash and then lectures and then slash, which makes sense to be honest. So first lecture 5 minute create and successful, seems like. Can I see that? Look at that. Lectures, first lecture. Woo! And I think the only thing that's remaining is just to get that and then render that on the UI. So where we are actually rendering this, we just need the lectures collection to do that. So we could actually do it really quick. So I'm going to actually add, and I know we also have the video URL as well for each lecture, and we don't have the types for it. So we can quickly create that. So export type lecture has an ID, title, duration, and which is supposed to be mandatory, and then video URL string, and this is also mandatory. So lecture, when comes in here, we need to say, hey, I'm gonna actually have you right there is created, and then once you're done creating this, setting the doc as well, then what you need to do is just to return back the value. So here you can say lecture. Let's import this guy. This is going to be an observable of lecture. So I'm going to just do this. Then here we can say something like this dot equals, and I'm going to copy paste stuff from here. So this one is what I'm looking for here. So collection data, collection Firestore courses, and in here I do want to say this. So courses slash id slash lectures. And once I do this, then I should be able to get the lectures, but as lecture. And this should be good. Unless there's a problem with that. I don't think there should be a problem. But once we do so, we should be actually able to do this. So if I go here, I can just go into the UL, uncomment this, do this, remove this, and use the async pipe. And then I have to also import the async pipe as well, of course. Let's use it right here. Ooh, look at that. First lecture, 5 minutes. So I can actually add second lecture, 10 minutes. Look at that. Quickly added. And this is also not done, but I'm going to leave it as it is. Otherwise, I'll just gonna continue. So I'm going to leave it at this point, and then I'll add more when the time permits me. But thank you, everyone, for joining. I'm going to show you my face before we leave because I do want to get some tea. And before that, I'll just say goodbye to you. Da, 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 da. New developer activities start tomorrow. Okay, not interested. All right. Thank you, everyone who looked so far. Super cool to have you. It was good just creating all of this. I'm still interested in how fast can I finish this when the time permits me with the tutorial itself. But yeah, we'll look into it. But this was really fun project to work with. So I'm gonna see you the next time. Thank you for joining. Take care. Allah Hafiz.